I've watched grown men cry at the release of these animals because it's really moving the first time you do it and you see it. And you watch them all head out together. They all know each other and they swim off together.
Between Yarmouth and Wellfleet lies the busiest stretch in the world for dolphin strandings. And so, when the Marine Mammal Stranding Hotline at IFA, the International Fund for Animal Welfare, rang in the early morning hours of June 28th, it was business as usual for the experienced rescue team. But what they thought was a single stranding quickly grew to double digits and then triple. 146 Atlantic white-sided dolphins made international headlines and history as the largest marine mammal stranding in U.S. history. IFA sent for all available Cape Cod volunteers for a race against time. One of them was Pattie Walsh from Truro.
I got a call that there were like 6 dolphins, maybe 7 dolphins out in the gut stranded. And then I got up to 10 dolphins, and then I was driving, and I didn't answer my cell phone after that. Then I get out there, and I go down the stairs, and I'm looking around, and I said, how many animals are here? And somebody said, there's like 110 at that point. And I just thought about it, and I looked around, and I saw these bodies everywhere. And I was like, it was amazing. I've never seen anything like it.
Pattie didn't know it at the time, but what followed was a rescue mission that would last for 4 days. Normally, dolphins that are stranded in the bay will be transported for release on the ocean side to avoid them stranding again, navigating through the nooks and crannies of the Wellfleet Bay. But transporting over 100 animals is an impossible task, so the team focused on keeping as many dolphins as possible alive in waiting for the tide.
They've landed on their sides, and that's a lot of gravity. They've never felt gravity before, and they're laying on their sides. Their blowhole's on its side, and they could drown. We right them, get them upright, and you maybe stick towels under it so it doesn't tip over again, or you build the mud up. Then you can put a towel on it and wet it, and you can kind of leave that animal alone. And if we can, we check their respirations. And also, when I had time out there, I was going around to some of the sheeted ones and making sure their temperature wasn't too high. Their dorsal fin, it's kind of like your forehead, and it can get really, really hot or really, really cold. So you just very gently hold it for a minute, and you can kind of tell if they're hot or if they're cold. Then you go to the next one, and the next one. It's very stressful when they strand. They don't know what's going on, and they flip around, and they're just trying to figure it out. And I think it's like being in a horrible car crash, and they don't know what's going on, and they're stressed out, and some of them can't handle it.
The Wellfleet Bay is a treacherous area for marine animals, a maze of mud and sand flats and quick tides. Brian Sharp, the director of IFA's Marine Mammal Rescue Team, believes the geography of Cape Cod is confusing the animals who come into the bay chasing baitfish. He calls the Bay of Brewster, Dennis Eastham and Wellfleet a natural dolphin trap.
Our team is actually doing a necropsy today on 3 of the animals that have died from this event because we want to see if there's any underlying causes that might give us some more information if there is a reason why this mass stranding happened. Cape Cod, we're a sandy spit that sticks out in the ocean. And then if you look at Wellfleet and Great Island are curved down, and it's almost a second spit or almost like a barb and a hook. And that, when dolphins get in that area and the tide goes out, it's an incredible trap.
25% of all alive strandings in the entire US happen between Yarmouth and Wellfleet. That makes Cape Cod the perfect classroom. Hence the new teaching hospital in Orleans, the Dolphin Rescue Center, where Brian is leading the work. Dolphins have stranded on Cape Cod for hundreds of years, but the frequency is increasing.
When this team started, our annual average was in the 180s to 190s, number of cases per year. That's dolphins as well as seals. We're now up to over 268 was our previous annual average. So just in the past 26 years, we've increased by almost 100 cases per year. We know that species are changing, so we are seeing some indications from climate change. It's very hard to pinpoint as far as direct causes, but it's something that we collect as much data as we can, so that way, hopefully that picture becomes clearer in the future.
During the mass stranding, Pattie Walsh and the rescue team of 82 staff members and volunteers managed to save the lives of 102 dolphins. After almost 4 hours of riding, sheeting, checking vitals, the high tide that everyone's waiting for poses a new challenge.
When it comes in fast. And all these animals have sheets on them. So all of a sudden, you're running around removing all the sheets so they don't get caught up in the sheets. Some of them are a little more stuck than others. You have to help get them up a little bit. They might be a little more stuck in the sand, and that can take a while. And then you have people that are holding some, and they have to wait till the tide's a little bit higher, and then they let them go. And then they start to swim.
Once the dolphins could start swimming again, Pattie, who has been rescuing dolphins for almost 20 years, observed some behavior that made a deep impression on her.
This seemed like a huge family gathering for Memorial Day or the 4th of July. They're having a big party. They're swimming. There's all this bait fish around. They're having a wonderful time. Then the bottom falls out of everything and they're stuck there. And one of the things I witnessed was when the water came back in, I watched, and other people, these animals swimming over to each other. They were going to their friends. They were going to their family. They were trying to help with maybe a little mother and baby. They wanted to make sure that nobody was bothering them. It was amazing to watch it. I personally believe that was a huge family unit. And they got caught in a really bad situation. But you could tell. We had like 3 or 4 really big ones in one area. And when the water got high enough, 3 of them were okay, but this other one made a beeline right in front of me over to another group. And it was like he was saying, hello, here we are, let's get out of here. And then they go up. They bond with each other. And the more I spend time with these animals, it just shows how empathetic they are and how much they care about other animals in their pods.
37 of the dolphins died, and another 7 had to be euthanized.
It can take its toll emotionally. So I had 2 days away from it, and I found it very interesting that a lot of us volunteers, we were all taking a deep breath and just taking it all in. And I actually will say that my second day, I got into my outside shower and I cried. And I've never done that before. It was just because the magnitude of it, it was big. I'm not going to say it wasn't a big event.
So how do you decompress?
I read a lot, walk my dog, play in my garden, and just enjoying the days, making some good meals, and getting ready for the phone to ring. And it hasn't rung in a while, so that's kind of nice. But it will. It will.